I found a head. I remember the day I was on my way home from school, but I didn't go directly home. Instead, I took the long way to keep walking and listening to music. But I wish I never had, because that was when I found a head. I was walking the trail I sometimes took when I wanted a bit of extra time before I arrived home. More me time, you could say. So I carried along the track until something caught the corner of my eye, something white. I stopped to look down the bank and saw a white sack lying deep in the grass beneath the tall bushes that surrounded the edge. Curious to know what it was, I put down my Walkman and crawled carefully down the bank. I was getting caught on every other branch on my way down. I was starting to think that this may not be worth what I might find, but I was wrong. I finally made it down and crept closer to the bag, which seemed to glow. I mean, it was daylight. I could see as clearly as anything, but the bag had a presence I had never felt before. As I got closer, my heart pounded fast and faster, as if something was warning me not to touch it. Then I was right in front of it. I was right there. I carefully picked the bag up and undid the rope that had tied the bag shut. But before I could open it, I heard something behind me. I tied the bag back up and crawled up the hill. With the bag slung over my shoulder, I headed home quickly. What could it be? It could be a bag of money. I'll surely be rich. It could be gold or silver. Whatever it was, it had some heft to it. I ran up the stairs to my house, opened the door, ran straight to my room and threw the bag on the bed. Mother yelled, "Dinner's ready," and I cried, "Coming." I looked at the bag a bit more, inching further toward it. I picked up the bag, trying to feel how heavy it was. It seemed like it had seen a better day or two. It smelled, and it had mold growing on the sides. I pulled the rope to undo the bag and looked inside. My whole body froze and started to shake, sweat dripping from my face and covering my eyes. Blinded by sweat, I looked stunned at what I saw. It was a human head. I pulled the bag down as I looked and gazed at it. I cannot tell you why it was there, but I know this. It was human, but also, at the same time, not. The eyes were shrunken inside themselves, glazed purple and blue. The skin was a tint of green, the hair was pure silver, and the lips were ruby red. I just stared at it for what felt like an eternity. Then I snapped out of my daze. My mother was crying out for me again. I put it back in the bag, tied it back up, threw it in my closet, and ran out the door. As I ate dinner that night, I sat in silence. People would try and make conversation, and I would stare at them as if I did not know what they were saying. I quickly finished and returned to my room to continue inspecting this thing. As I ran back, my mother looked at me and asked, "What's wrong with you tonight? Anything you need to tell me?" I told her, "No, I'm just tired," and off I went. As I opened my door, I felt a shiver run down my spine, something that still to this day I have never felt. I shut the door and went straight to my closet. As I pulled it open, it was nowhere to be seen. I looked high and low, the top and bottom shelves, even under my bed. I could not find it anywhere. Finally, I yelled at my mother and asked, "Did you touch the bag inside the closet?" She came in and sternly told me she had not been in my room and asked, "What's with you tonight?" I assured her nothing was wrong and I got into bed. As I lay there watching TV, I couldn't help but feel terrified of what had just happened. How could this be? It was there 30 minutes ago. I saw, found, touched, and now it's gone. I stared at the empty closet all night. Needless to say, I only got 2 hours of sleep. The next day after I got out of bed, I looked again, and still nothing. Maybe it was all an illusion, just a weird fever dream. I got ready for school and did my usual routine. Shower, get dressed, have breakfast, then head out the door to walk to school. Listening to the teachers blather on about history was an ordinary Wednesday. The bell rang at the end of the day, and off I went. I was walking home with my friends, and one by one they said goodbye and walked into their homes. Then I walked further down and saw the long path to home. I thought, no, I won't be going down there again. I continued until I looked back. Something told me to take that path back home again, as it was my usual way home. So I turned around and headed back and down the same track. I put in my earphones and kept walking. I was near where I saw the bag last time. Then, in the corner of my eye, I saw the bag in the exact spot I had seen it before. I moved closer to get a better view, and it was the same bag, mold, and all still caked on it, still stuck underneath the thick bush that surrounded it. I ran back home, and I never walked down that path again.